people aren't getting their shots, and so there's no discovery of who like the next comedy stars are. I feel like so many times we watch a comedy and it's got the same exact.
I love this question.
Me too.
I'm going to say something that came to mind. The $15 million, $20 million comedy was huge. I could see Eddie Murphy. I could see Steve Martin. I could see all these and people that I idolize, Jim Carrey. And then now it seems like it's disappeared.
It's always about like, oh, let's make this action star a comedy guy. But there's like comedians in the wings waiting to work and do their things. And there's no shade on any sort of thing. But I feel like there's like, I don't want to use the word disrespect, but I feel like there's not like a trust in comedians to do comedy. It's always like, well, wouldn't it be great if this Oscar-winning actor who's always done drama does a comedy, but now that's all it ever is.
I think that I have the body and the lack of balance of a comedian, which kind of led me in that direction. I don't think I don't know how successful I'd be as a kind of romantic lead or a sort of smouldering detective. I take my comedy quite seriously, I've been told, which kind of influences the kind of it ticks the box of doing serious stuff. And that was my dream for a long time, to be a serious actor.
The things I'm working on now are really just like aiming at hard comedies. I think the way the world is right now, I need to escape into comedy, but I'm really inspired by doing as many different things as possible in the future. So I would totally go in all different directions again, but I'm looking forward to kind of just sinking into the pocket of comedy for a moment.
The categories are mother-in-law, dogs, your boss, paying taxes, going to the doctor, jokes, dirty jokes, and clean jokes. Those are the 7 kind of stuff.
Paying taxes is one of the 7?
It's one of the 7, yeah.
Wow. That just allows me to just go crazy and take risks, knowing that he is protecting my performance. But yeah, I mean, I had such a great time directing The Rental, and I just directed my second one that Zoe actually has a part in. And it's also incredible just to have a little bit more control over everything. And
so the
truth is I wanted you for Zoe's part, but I just knew you'd say, yeah.
I was booked. And
you were
Dave
booked.
knew that, and that's respect.
I just want you to know that when I did that part, I channeled you. So it was a lot of
hey,
what's up?
Looking at 2 likes here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rudrani, and welcome to Speak Easy. Today, my guests are men with very funny bones, and I'm talking about Sam and Ben. They write, they direct, they're creators, performers who always make us laugh. Thank you for joining in.
What a great intro. Thank you for having us.
Nice.
Sam and Ben has a really nice ring to it, too.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
You all should totally team up, shouldn't you? Like you did here, kind of.
Yeah, that's great.
And again.
Sam, when we talk about, we're having a lot of talk about representation for a while now. And I had this conversation with Zoe a long time back during Modern Love. Do you think today stories which are more inclusive, which are wild, which are crazy, is truly happening? One, including After Party, because you see people from everywhere here.
I think so. I think it's becoming more and more, things are becoming more and more inclusive as like characters, like my character Anik isn't defined like he's a black guy and everything he does is a black stereotype. Getting to play people instead of that being my character trait, I feel happens more and more in more things that I read and more things that I see. Whereas, in 95, a murder mystery would have, like a high school murder mystery, the character being black would have been his character. He would have been like the captain of the basketball team and like a break dancer. And that would have been like that would have been his, character. But now there's nuance and like these characters are being approached as real people, which I think is a great step forward. And I have to hope and believe that that's just going to continue to grow as time goes.
Absolutely. Okay, the question is for both of you because both of you have written for comedy. I want to understand, tell me something that you really feel hasn't still been explored in writing process of comedy yet.
I love this question. I'm going to say something that came to mind for me. It's not a specific type of writing, but I've written a bunch of movies for places. And what I've noticed is that when I was a kid, like the 15 million, $20 million comedy was huge. I could see Eddie Murphy. I could see Steve Martin. I could see all these and people that I idolized, Jim Carrey. And then now it seems like it's disappeared, which is such a bummer because it seems like a genre like that Sam and I could write for, that Sam and I could hopefully act in one day. But it's like that idea that like a comedy can have a big movie market appeal, I think is dwindling. And I never quite understood why, because in my head, when you go to the theater, one of the fun things is sharing an experience together, and us laughing together at the screen is one of them. So in terms of a macro look at things, I don't know why, but the entire, like 15 million, $20 million comedy kind of there's only one or two a year now, which is a bummer for me because I grew up on those.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I think there's just not a trust in comedic talent, so that like people aren't getting their shots, and so there's no discovery of who like the next comedy stars are. I feel like so many times we watch a comedy and it's got the same exact people, or like now or it's always about like, oh, let's make this action star a comedy guy, but there's like comedians in the wings waiting to work and do their things. And there's no shade on any sort of thing, but I feel like there's like, I don't want to use the word disrespect, but I feel like there's not like a trust in comedians to do comedy. It's always like, well, wouldn't it be great if this Oscar-winning actor who's always done drama does a comedy? And like, but now that's all it ever is. Or an action movie is now like, it's got some comedy in it, so that's the comedy. But it's not like comedies, which, to get to at this point in my career, then you have comedies kind of start to dwindle. I'm like, dang it.
I know. Great questions, by the way.
Yeah, truly.
Thank you. I'm glad, because I was thinking in what better way to ask this question than with writers who write amazing comedy and act and are performers. So there you are. It's my time, but I want to just end it by asking, okay, Sam and Ben actually do have a ring to it. And I want to say, Ben, you're an excellent wingman, I must say, on screen. So I want to know, it'd be fun to watch like a parallel line happening, like a spin-off on just two of you from this entire thing, isn't it? What do you think about it?
I think
I would do anything with
the adventures of Anik and what's your character's name?
Jasper.
To see the adventures. I want to say Ben. I want to say Ben so bad. To see like the adventures of Anik and Jasper like in the world after, I think it'd be fun.
It would be so fun, and to do anything with Sam again it was so easy to play, which is a big thing when you're doing comedy. It was so easy to play, and then in between action and cut, we were still making each other laugh. So it was heaven. Anytime Sam wants to do anything, I'm in.
Same. Fast friends and then true friends.
There it is. Love it.
Yeah. And the camaraderie truly came through, because I enjoyed that bit really. And thank you. I had a lot of fun. All the best, you guys, for After Party. And next time, hopefully get to talk some more about comedy writing. Thank you.
Lovely to meet you. Great questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Vidrani, and welcome to Speak Easy. My guests today are incredibly talented, and they never, ever fail to make you laugh on screen. I'm talking about Jamie and Lana. Thank you for joining in. How are you doing?
Hi, doing good today.
Hey. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having us.
You're a BAFTA-winning actor. You've won so many awards. And of course, we have huge fans of Fleabag here. A very interesting thing that I know about you is that when you started off, you wanted to be a serious actor, like you said. And then, of course, in comedy, you always try to do something different, including After Party, where you wrote something that you haven't done before. I want to know, because you wanted to, at some point, start off as a serious actor, does that thought come to your head? And sometimes do you, again, want to venture in that direction?
Thank you for your question. I suppose it's an interesting one. I think that I take my comedy quite seriously, I've been told, which kind of influences the kind of, it ticks the box of doing serious stuff. And that was my dream for a long time, to be a serious actor. But I think that I have the body and the lack of balance of a comedian, which kind of led me in that direction. I don't think I don't know how successful I'd be as a kind of romantic lead or a sort of smoldering detective. But never say never. I'm up for whatever challenge comes my way. And I think within the world of comedy, there's such a kind of vast spectrum that I'm so excited to explore. And I'm a big believer in the fact that there's a big and brilliant trend for comedy dramas these days. But I kind of feel like the best comedy has drama inherently in it anyway. And that's what makes it particularly funny, your kind of belief in the characters and your following of their journey. So I kind of feel like I'm hopefully managing to do both at the same time, but I would never say no to being a really kind of grim murderer in something, I suppose.
You mentioned about how, like for you, for Fleabag, your collaborative process with Phoebe was so important because, collaboration without trying to seem like a collaboration. Is that a prerequisite for all the things that you do, even for After Party?
I would say that it's not a prerequisite. No, it's handy that it just so happens that the people I've tended to work with over the years are very collaborative. But no, it's not a prerequisite. I'd be more than happy to step into someone's vision and have them tell me exactly what they want me to do. There are a lot of brilliant minds out there that I'm very interested to see their perspective and work in that way. It just so happens that I think people tend, I think, inherently to be drawn to people who work in a similar way to them, I suppose.
Of course. Ending with Lana. Lana, of course, you went completely in the opposite direction with False Positive, and it was so interesting. Tell me, do you feel that need to, again, experiment? Because you're an excellent comedian and you've done amazing in comedy with writing and otherwise.
That was such a crazy experience to do something so different. And actually in the After Party, to do the genre that the psychological thriller genre that Chelsea's episode was kind of like that, which was wild and I could never have planned for. I do love doing different things. It's just interesting. And for me, I think variety always feeds back to comedy because I'm such a natural comedy nerd. I'm really excited to the things I'm working on now are really just like aiming at hard comedies. I think the way the world is right now, I need to escape into comedy, but I'm really inspired by doing as many different things as possible in the future. So I would totally go in all different directions again, but I'm looking forward to kind of just sinking into the pocket of comedy for a moment.
And you're wonderful at it. Thank you so much. That's my time. Thank
Thanks
you, Jamie. Thank you, Lana. Thank you for continuing to entertain us. Lots of love from India. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rudrani and welcome to Speak Easy. Today, my guests are from the very interesting new comedy series, After Party. I have Dave, Ike, and Zoe joining in. How are you guys doing?
Great. How you doing?
Good.
Good. This question is for Dave. Dave, during Rental, which was your directorial debut, you had mentioned about your fear of being in closed spaces. Well, I don't think it's turning out to be very good for you, is it? Because here's another series where when you put together in a place, things don't seem to be going your way. So tell me, you had a directorial debut. Now you have this where you got to play this really crazy character. Mm-hmm. Acting will always remain first love, is it?
I don't know. I kind of like the balance of both. It's, when you're working with like a director like Chris Miller, it's so fun to act because I trust him inherently. And so when that's the case, that just allows me to just go crazy and take risks knowing that he is protecting my performance. But yeah, I mean, I had such a great time directing The Rental, and I just directed my second one that Zoe actually has a part in. And it's also incredible just to have a little bit more control over everything and to bring in the people that I love.
You kind of gather people in one room and things never seem to go your way, do they?
I guess that's true. Yeah. You put me in a small room with people and someone's going to die. And in this case, it was me. Yeah.
There you are. I hope for better luck next time. Okay. You of course are a fabulous actor who's done all kinds of comedy. I want to ask, what is it in comedy as someone, as a creator, writer, or as a performer that you think still hasn't been explored?
Well, I mean, I give credit to guys like Chris who always find new ways to do it. Sometimes you think, well, we've done everything, and then someone comes along and gives you something like the after party, which you've never seen before. They always say in comedy, there's only 7 jokes, and it's just how you tell them in different ways. And Chris Miller has, I think, found a totally new way to do these jokes. So
what are some of those 7 jokes, Ike?
Oh, well, there's your classic, there's your classic mother-in-law joke. The categories are mother-in-law, dogs, your boss, paying taxes, going to the doctor, jokes, dirty jokes, and clean jokes. Those are the 7 kind of stuff.
Paying taxes is one of the 7?
It's one of the 7, yeah.
Wow.
I have learned a lot from this today. I had no idea about that one. But if I move on to it, I want to know, because you won awards, you've done so many kinds of comedies. I want to know, when you walk into a room, do people always expect you to be funny, and is that something that is so annoying?
Oh yeah, no. When you walk into this room for the after party, it's ridiculous because every single person there is like hilarious in their own specific way. So in a way, if you do like a drama or something and you're the funny person, it can be a bit much. But in this, everyone's so funny that you could just kind of sit back and just watch other people be funny while you take a break from being funny. We had too much funny almost, I think. It's a problem.
We would go home and my face hurt from laughing.
Yeah. And mine from the plastic surgery I had right before we started shooting the show, which was a mistake because it hadn't set yet. So there are some shots where I look a little odd, but
I think you look fine. You look fine.
Thank you.
Just fine.
Very well.
Thank you.
Just fine.
I love the leather jacket. You look very
Just going to be on the poster. Ike looks fine.
Fine. He looks fine.
Fine.
I'm ending it with Zoe. Zoe, I remember it was great. You're like the belle of the ball here, and in the after party, you're out to have some fun. I want to know, last time we spoke about representation for Asian actor, and you said, somehow I hope the stories get more interesting and diverse. I see that happening with this one as well. What are your thoughts now after being a part of so many diverse stories? I'm the one that Dave is directing, so there you go.
Totally. I mean, I was in 8 different movies doing this show, After Party felt like, because we hit 8 different genres. And so it was really thrilling to dip a toe into, a psychological thriller, and then a musical, and an animated episode. So yeah, I feel like Chris really called upon all of our tricks. He had us dancing and singing, and there was a lot of emotional range we had to hit. So yeah, it was really a robust experience as a performer.
And I just want to say, can I just say one thing? I know that Zoe was in Dave's movie. Dave wanted me to be in the movie. I was unavailable at the time. I was working. He did, just to be clear, he didn't reach out. But I know he wanted me to, and I know in Dave's mind, he was like, I would love, he had his chalkboard, the casting board, and he was like, we need Ike, but I can't get him, so I'm not even going to reach out. So
the truth is, I wanted you for Zoe's part, but I just knew you'd say, yeah.
I was booked. And Dave knew that, and that's respect.
I just want you to know that when I did that part, I channeled you. So it was a lot of hey, what's up?
Looking at 2 Ikes here. Ike and Ike now.
I was having too much fun. But Dave, I think it's your loss. I mean, it would have been great to have the 2 of them together again. I'm just kidding.
I knew he was busy. I didn't want to make it awkward for him to have to pass. It's like, he
respect.
gets it. That's respect.
It's called respect. That's respect.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun watching the series as well. I'm talking to you guys. Lots of love from India. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye, Thank you.